Hello and welcome, as it is the 12th day of July 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like, well, that is within each's own risk and their own reward. Alrighty, now as far as Bitcoin is concerned, this is what the 15-minute term time frame looks like, which is like this. And the hourly is as such. And yeah, maybe it looks like it's got a nice potential for a breakout, which, I mean, I wasn't even planning on talking about stuff like that, so it's just going to really roll over into how things are just boring as anything. However, I guess there's potential where maybe this thing could break out and maybe have a 1.4, 1.5% gain on a 3-hour time frame. That is just sick that it's that low for me to pretty much go over. And this is the message of the market for it pretty much doing a whole bunch of nothing. Yesterday's session had a high of 9,304, a low of 9,180. Differential from 91.80 to 93 is 120. So 125. I need 92 points for 1% of volatility. And it didn't beat it by that much. That was yesterday's session. Overall, I mean, I'll take a look at this, and the last few days have pretty much been in like this little bit of a range in here. Before that, it was pretty much somewhere in this little area here. So generally speaking, the average of it is in this line. I suppose we could say the markets are pretty much just trade in this low little range in here. And well, even overall, this little general area here is a little differential of like 9,000 even to like 96, 97. That's not even 10%. So the general volatility for the last, like, since early May, last couple of months, has been nothing. And this has been so, and I like it better, I suppose, but so reminiscent of this. And I'm not saying this because what happened after is just, well, I mean, a big move was down. This was from a downtrend before, where the one we're in is from an uptrend before. But these were situations where the days were like, oh my goodness, it was like just doing nothing. Yeah, maybe this was a little bit worse along the way. And along such as a trader who trades coins back and forth, because the market has just been doing nothing pretty much, there isn't that much activity as far as some of my trades. Generally speaking, most of my coins that I trade against Bitcoin are like not doing much, like these 0.91% are normal. However, Theta's actually been running pretty well, so I want to talk about that. As well as T-Fuel, and let's give a quick little look in here. As it came out, these are free coins that were given from holding Theta. You got 5 T-Fuel for every Theta, and there are other ways of getting Theta now, or Theta Fuel by holding Theta in other wall stuff I don't like doing, meaning I just hold my coins in the wallets, of course, but then instead of gaining Theta Fuel by just holding them, I make trades. And well, of course, I haven't been making too many. Today, of course, is a day where markets have been going up for the Theta situation. What kind of fundamental news money came in last night as this thing just was in the trading range between like 93, 92, 91, or yeah, between 90 and 93, piercing up to 94 over the last few days. And then just a big move up to about 109, pulling back down to 100 even, now trading at 102, and even recently to 104. But just a very beautiful, okay move. But I mean, it doesn't do much on the daily, just a little break above the 18 average of highs. And that's after it had this last one before on June the 12th, 13th, but which pretty much failed. However, it's so far succeeding its correctionary phase. And keyword is so far because it hasn't even attempted to leave that correctionary move. It's attempting to do so and such. Previous resistance here about 130 or so, and then getting above that means that we can start talking about these levels in here. And the correctionary move, I mean, I really can't talk about it leaving correctionary move until it gets above even this high, which is like 108, 110 in this area here, maybe around maybe even 116. I don't want to talk much about T-Fuel, rather Theta is the interesting one. And I've been stating for a little bit here that I feel Theta is en route to pierce not only below this 1919 number, but even lower. Well, so far, so not even close. As it managed to really go through this statement here in the start of June. So for the last month or so, making a move, breaking down below the 18 average of lows in the second week. And then an interesting rally here is on the 21% gain on June the 12th. However, as it was doing so, what did it do? Did it end the downtrend? Yeah, it did, because it neutralized the situation, was able to hold the within the 18 lows, and did it ever do so? Not really rallying too much, but even some of the volatility here. Low of 23.76, a high of 24.42. So that's 24 to the top of the dollar, plus another 42. That's like 66. So 3% volatility in that day, that's just microscopic. As far as the situation here on July the 7th, there's that breakout above of the 18 average, having a significant move, retesting previous levels of support from June 22nd and the rallies from June 12th, 13th. Coming back, not quite to where it came from, as it higher low did not go to the 18 average of lows, 18 average of highs. It's not like it's all gets guaranteed where it's just going to be this or this parameter hits this mathematically, so it's going to have to go here. For me, it's more likely one event or something would happen. But always in reading the market, we can see with establishing this high, which is now above, which was like, well, on July the 8th was 28.46. It's already exceeded its 29.91. And on the hourly term, it got nicely above it here, July the 10th, 1900, and is a nice phenomenal sideways correction, correcting at the lows. Again, at a higher low with the 18 lows again. An attempt to break out here, not quite. An attempt to break out here, quite, as it was successful on this one. And a significantly large gain. 1, 2, 3, 4, all these great green candles. And from that point, it's been about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 periods. And has come down to a nice little correctionary move. There was one on the 1 o'clock hour, which really failed its rally, but succeeded on its move test. And now it's managed to get above these short-term levels. And what's interesting of note is it just seems as if these things will normally pierce extra when they hit these Fibonacci points. And although the number is not exactly 3048, it is a pierce above 3000, that number. Which would tell me that if we're going to make a move to here, well, it hasn't quite done it yet. Now on the short term, the hourly that I shows a very good setup because of the correction move. I'm looking forward to leave among the 18, which is what it's doing as I'm doing this video now. So it does look to me as if this is poised to make a break above this resistance. And in such, if it goes up to about here, that would be like 31 area. That would be a pierce, a noticeably decent move above here. Not too small, not too big. It would also be a noticeable pierce above on the 3048 or 33,000 low change area. And it's going to make me a little, I don't know what the situation is going to come in here, which is why if I was to be a little bit of a day trader, I wouldn't be too optimistic on it. I think it's still a little bit late with the situation. You had a situation go along here, up in here. I'm not saying that because you missed the last few. I'm just thinking that this brings us to a very interesting situation we are resisting it now. But at this point, if I can see the market hold and stay within this general area for quite some time, then that would be telling me a lot of information that it's able to hold. I'm going to be using the 18. I'd be using the 18 average of lows. Previous areas where we came from would be changed to about this general area of resistance of about 2600 as the next key support. But that's one way of doing it. And then where is it going to hold if we just resist here and then successfully hold it? Maybe that's where the price or time correction goes to, a little more price. Maybe it just comes down to like 28 or just settles in that just does a little bit of back and forth here where it maybe supports 29, resists 32, something in that area. And if I see it doing that stuff like that, it's going to be telling me, okay, this is holding so much that point A high and point B low. Well, now we're looking at going back and retesting that. That will be just looks like a point B low. And now a retracement from this high to this low. And with that being said, I suppose I should come up with some mathematical numbers because I can do such. And I just thought about this now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the high divided by this low into the root of those exponents. So let me just find my keyboard. Hang on. And I don't even know why I say that because I just pause the tape when I do it. And I've already found it. So now let's bring up the Fibonacci. The high is that of 6,400. And the lows, and that's if these are the lows, and I'm not going to say they probably will be, but it's got a lot of work now to break them. 2197, 2161. So we use the 2161 lows. So we divide these two numbers, which would give me a number around 3, to the roots of these, or the exponent, multiply the low of 2161 again. So the 23.6 coming in at 27.92. Legitimate. I'd say it's a little legitimate. So it came up and resisted it, and I'm battling between the two Fibonacci's. This is another reason why I'm like, oh, do I really want to trade something when I'm really not really. No. Although this might even tell me where the Pierce Extra might be. What's the 38.2 on here? That comes in at 20 or 32.72. So this might tell me where this next leg higher is going to. 32.72. We'll see if it is. We'll see if it's not. But for that level of resistance, that to me makes sense. And if I can see clear, like it's just, oh my goodness, it's going to like 33, 34, 35, 36, and it's holding it. Oh, now we got 42.27. And 42.27, that's a pierce above this. So coinciding a little bit. So it's to a degree. If this would have been the low, then the Fibonacci numbers would have pretty much been exactly. And I'm just going to show you what 1919 would have done. So 6,400. I mean, they're not the numbers, but it just mathematically Fibonacci always works out in the same. So you got 3040 is one of those numbers, which is pretty much here. And then 4040, which is in towards here. And even again, these numbers aren't the exact ones because they were just rounded in the general area. So if I go say 6,400 and say 3040, then that means the new 61.8 should be 4040. We'll see if that's right. And yeah, there it is. So there's the 4040 on there. All right. That was just some mathematics just because math is cool. I really don't need not much more to say about this. I don't know what, the one thing I did want to mention was fundamentals. There might be fundamental news and there might not be. But regardless of the fact the market is going through a possible breakout stage, which means big moves become live. Whether they will or not, we'll see. But I mean, these are next potential levels because what's up after 4,000? Well, then we got all the way up to previous high pretty much. And then if you break previous high of now, what's now 6,000, now we could be talking, maybe it goes to 10,000, 12, 14, 16. Like it's easy to do. And it does it. And it's not a surprise when stuff like that happens. And for me, I'm just going to just wait for the markets to make it smooth. I'll just trade it based on the numbers. I did make one small trade selling Theta this morning, but what I like about myself and when I trade coins back and forth is obviously on the way up, it's just a lot of Theta selling, and I'm looking for a correction. It would have been nicer if it would have came down in here, but the market does what it does. I did buy back what I could. Thus, I'm going to be selling a lot less aggressively the second time higher than I did from point here to point here. So I'll be in better shape because I'll have more Theta. When the price is at 6,000, I did the last time, will be at 6,000 because of all the different buybacks. As I'll trade this against whatever coin, and then, for one example, I traded 18% less Theta this morning than the last time I traded. It's crossing, and I got more coins back on the other side. So I got like a few hundred or a few dozen or a few thousand or a few million or a few decimal amounts of Theta. It wasn't the millions or decimal amounts. Then I had from the last trade, and then about a 7% gain in the other coin, which was Dash in this case. So breakout higher, I'm looking to sell against like GRS and LITECOIN if it goes higher than that. Now Theta's actually got an interesting look too because it was starting to break out yesterday. It's got a similar kind of breakout pattern from, I think anyway. So it's just like a bonus clip. But on the daily term time frame, getting out above here, nice little consolidation. I like how it broke above this high in yesterday's session. So far it's just a whole day of yesterday's gains, which is good in itself. But there's like the very similar hourly time frame. I thought it was the hourly time frame in both this and Theta were relatively similar. Yeah, the only difference is, of course, how it's been breaking out lately where Theta hasn't. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.